morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Fumble Live. I know you saw that Nets versus Bucks game last night, so we're going to get into that because it did not go the way that I thought it was going to go. But before we do that, myself and Devin Booker are big fans of the Suns and 4 guy. He gave some hands, and we're excited about that. But we're going to tell you about the reward that Devin Booker gave him. Some people are mad about that. But before we get into all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that notification bell. Now, of course, here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things J-Ray the Fanatic. Look who it is, because Devin is taking a much-needed day off. I think she's celebrating Juneteenth a little bit early. But Kevin Pryor is here, you guys. Welcome, Kev. How you feeling? Good morning.
Top of the morning, Jackie Ray. And no, people, do not adjust your cameras. This is not Devin Howard. My name is Kevin Pryor. What's going on?
I mean, if you were Devin Howard, she would be celebrating Juneteenth in a very special kind of way. But I would be here.
Devin Howard, this is a whole different problem.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. I'm so excited to have you here. Now, I need you guys to know that it is very important to me that we all, channel our Fumble Live, whatever, and root for Utah. Because if Utah loses, Kevin's going to win another challenge. I'm going to lose another bet. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm just saying.
All right, you guys, let's just dive into our need to know news, because this one, as per usual, I just don't agree with the common folk. I just don't. Not to be fair, I was a fan of the Suns and 4 guy before he went on Barstool. I don't know if you guys saw, he was on, his name is Nick. He was on the Barstool podcast. He actually reached out to them because he wanted to explain himself. He didn't want people thinking that he was some kind of tool and just out here throwing hands whenever. But he lives in Denver. He's a diehard Suns fan. And of course, he went to the game. He was trash talking. As these guys were walking by, they heard him. Everyone else was laughing. They took offense to it. They actually pulled out a wad of cash and told him, oh, you don't have the money we have. And then they ended up throwing a drink on him. And that's when things got crazy. Now, this video that came out actually confirms that situation, because you see he's just kind of like, the beer was thrown on him, and that's when he kind of reaches out. But even then, he doesn't it's not full-on beat down. He kind of just pushes the guy off of him for throwing the beer on him. And then the lady next to him was like, yo, that's not cool. You guys should go. They seem to think about going, and then guy's like, no, I want to hit him. And then that's when he hit him back and started to defend himself. And I was here for it before I saw the full video, because look, the video that we originally saw was the guy kind of thinking about hitting him before he hit him. Obviously, now that we know more details about it, we know what it is. I'm personally a fan of them being hit, because here's what we didn't know, and I found this on Twitter as well. They was using the N-word when describing this fight and saying that they beat this guy. So take a look at this. I bleeped out the N-word because we don't do that around here. But Leo, if we have that video, can we throw that one up? So twice in that video they used the N-word, which to me means they deserve the beatdown. I'm a fan of the beatdown if you're going to use the N-word. But as we said, Devin Booker was looking for him. He found him. And now they have confirmed that Devin Booker is sending him a signed jersey and has given him tickets to the Western Conference Finals. Some people have a problem with this. Some people are calling him royalty, though. Suns fans are calling him royalty. I have this first tweet from that. It says, looks legit. Somebody find this man and get him on Twitter if he's not already. Come forward, Nick McKellar, and be lifted to your rightful place as Suns Twitter royalty, a generational meme. You will be a giant who walks among us. So they were here for it. I think I have another Suns fan that said the same thing. Nick, you is our king. Definitely not full defense, though. He went a little extra, but that was for good measure. But then, of course, people were upset at Devin for wanting to reach out to this guy, because he said, why are you doing this? You condone this behavior. Another fan said the same thing. Now, this guy literally contacted the principal's office because he got the NBA, NBA Players Association, and NBA.com, and says a player is promoting violence in the stands at away games and nothing but silence from you. Fans are going to start fights to get recognized by players. Take action now or enjoy Thunderdome in the stands. Kevin, I personally condone this man. I think he deserves these tickets. I think he deserves this jersey. But do you agree with these other people saying that, he's just condoning violence?
Well, first and foremost, I'm glad you left Denver. I know that's home, but I mean, if they do acting like that in games, that's crazy. Listen, where I come from, you throw a beer on me, your mama gonna buy a black dress. That's just the reality of it. So listen, the reality is that this man's actually a hero. He was at that game was in Denver. He was in Denver, minding his own business. And it's funny because I think a lot of bullies have been in that position where they go like, you know what? They size you up and go, I can knock this guy out. And all of a sudden, I'm gonna hit him anyway, and he got his tail whipped. So nah, this guy's a national treasure. Salute to him. He deserves all the spoils. You know, just don't do no celebrity boxing. I don't want to see him fighting in a celebrity boxing ring. I don't want to see that. Give him a jersey, support the Suns, you know. But yeah, no, those fans, they must be, you know, do they see what's happening in DC? So
Right.
we're not gonna blame Devin Booker for that. No, he did the right thing. Support that man.
I'm just confused as the what fans are thinking. They always say, "Oh, the players are too soft," and then when the player takes this moment to salute a guy for not being soft, and they're like, "Oh, you're condoning violence." Like, you can't have it both ways, people. Like, pick a
Nothing
side.
makes sense
I'm just a
anymore.
fan, right? It's just I'm a fan of this guy for sure. I was a fan before I knew the backstory. So
Mm-hmm.
congratulations that you get to go to the Western Conference Finals. He's been waiting for this for a long time. He deserves this as a fan. I'm happy for him. But let's get on to this next one because, as you know, y'all, I was sitting there watching this on pins and needles because I told y'all yesterday that I've lost a lot of respect for Giannis, but they came through. The Bucks beat the Nets 104-89. The Bucks outscored the Nets in every single quarter except the third quarter where they tied. They were leading the entire time. The Nets never got the lead. Chris Middleton set a career playoff high with 38 points. Giannis added 30 to that. Chris Middleton had a similar response to what Giannis said, but it had a different tone, and I'm curious to see what Kevin thinks about this. He says, "We don't think about any type of pressure at all. It's a basketball game. It's simple as that. I know it's lose or go home, but at the same time, it's just basketball. You got to have fun with it. Those moments are fun. You know when the game is on the line." Now, like I said, that's basically similar to what Giannis said, but he had more of a like, I live for this moment. I live for these win or go home moments. KD had a nice double, 32 points and 11 rebounds. James Harden had 16 points, which I was okay with that because you could still tell he was kind of nursing himself back from that situation. The thing is, though, we wanted to see more of Giannis on KD. We did not see that. That job was still left to PJ Tucker and a little bit of Chris Middleton. He was on him a couple of times, but it still wasn't enough. Interesting fact, though, you guys, Mike Budenholzer has never won an elimination game. So it's going to be curious to see what happens on Saturday. But Kevin, what did you think about this whole? I'm sure you watched the game last night. Were you impressed by the Bucks in any way?
Well, listen, Bucks won the game. I give them credit for that. I don't. Maybe Reggie Miller was right because they looked like they weren't out there last night. I mean, when you see the situation with Harden when he gets to stealing, like, oh, I don't want to pull his hamstring again. You know the game
Right.
is it's not a situation. I think KD just ran out of gas. Listen, the man gave it all the other night in Brooklyn. Legendary night for him. He's still mortal. He bleed. If he cuts him, he'll still bleed. So he's human. I think he just ran out of gas. Joe Harris is you talking about disappearing in the moment. I just think that the Nets are in a situation where, like, the perfect example of a team that feels that they're crowned. Similar to what the Clippers have been through over the last couple of years and other teams. They've been crowned, and they got to go out and earn it. And, Milwaukee, while they're not making the most smart decisions, they do have talent. Chris Middleton last night, 38-10. He was
Yep.
kind of almost a poor man's Kevin Durant. But Game 7 brings out the best in people. And while KD had that Game 5 superstar game, if they lose tomorrow, they lose tonight, that's all for naught. So you got the show in Game 7s. Game 7s are what legends are made of, and we're going to see what these two guys are made of tonight.
Now, if KD and James Harden lose Game 7, is this Nets project over? Was it much to do about nothing when we all were talking about this super team?
That's a great question. It's almost like when you're a kid and you meet a girl and you go to the club, the party, and you're nice and dressed and she's nice and dressed, and then you get to know a little bit and you feel like the hair was fake and her breath stink and all these type of
God.
things. And that's what's happening with the Nets. The Nets right now are a team that they came together, kumbaya, three superstars, three fragile, mentally, flawed individuals when they can be. and they came together for a cause. Obviously, injuries and different things have kind of derailed that. So if they don't win this year, they'll still be around. But I don't know if it's going to be the Kumbaya Nets in 21-22. I think they got to take care of business now while everybody is focused and mentally together. But again, injuries play a role, and you know, injuries are undefeated when it comes to sports.
And that's what I think. I don't think it's a fair assessment to say, oh, this experiment didn't work, because none of them have really been healthy at the same time. They haven't really had a chance to play together. And to the Knicks, say it again?
Kind of an incomplete.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the Bucks are kind of healthy right now. So I don't know. I agree 100% with what you said, though. KD played every single minute of the game before that. I know everybody is talking about, I don't know if you guys saw, but the NBA came out and said that LeBron was wrong, that rest isn't really needed, that doesn't contribute to the injuries. They're lying. They are lying. Your body needs rest. That plays into it. It's a thing, guys. It is a thing. And so I definitely think that KD will probably be back to his 49-point self in this next one, but we will see. Let's move on to this next one really quickly, because I cannot wait to see what you think about this one. Because I was like, kind of did the whole dog, like, okay, maybe. Because the Celtics are looking towards the future now, and they've decided that they are going to move on. They're making moves for the 2021-2022 season. And Kemba Walker has been traded to OKC. Now, they traded him for picks and Al Horford and Moses Brown. If you guys remember, Al Horford already spent 3 seasons with the Celtics. They're going to get some financial flexibility because they won't owe him that $73 million that they owe Kemba Walker. But they literally traded their point guard for 2 centers. So, Kevin, is this I mean, I know this isn't my job to put teams together, but if it was me, I don't think I need 2 centers from a point guard. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, Brad Stevens' first job in his new office, I don't know. I mean, I'm grading him an incomplete with this as well. You know, him and Kemba really didn't see eye to eye. Kemba's been dealing with knee injuries. The knee injury this past year just didn't really work out. He was supposed to be the anti-Kawhi. It really didn't work out. Boston gets a draft pick. You're not really getting too many free agents to Boston, plus Al Horford, who, while it's not a drafted Boston player, he kind of fits their mentality and the way they want to move. For Kemba, I'm a New York guy. I watched Kemba play at Rice High School, UConn, and now in the pros. I think he needs a fresh start. While it's NBA purgatory and going to OKC, I don't think this is a destination stop. I think it's a situation where he gets to get healthy. He gets to be the show, play with Lou Dort, Gilgeous-Alexander, and those boys, those young guys. And then maybe next year at the trade deadline, we're hearing Kemba Walker, maybe to the Lakers, Kemba Walker to another team, a contending team. But I think again, the trade's a good trade for both teams because it's a reset. You know, it wasn't working for him in Boston. Brad Stevens is not a fan, and then obviously for Kemba, it's a fresh start to kind of show that he's still a prime talent in the league.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for Kemba, like you said, just to get out. But like you said, OKC is not the move. I see Gary. Where'd you go? Did I miss it? So maybe it was Gary in the chat. Yeah, I said get John Wall. What do you think about John Wall to the Celtics? Would that work? I think John Wall anywhere would work, depending on the system.
I mean, again, I don't know if at this point, maybe John Wall has no choice to go to Boston. But, I mean, again, I think it's a situation where you can collect talent. He's still a talented player. You roll the dice with the injuries. You don't know. I mean, injuries is part of the game. But if Boston get John Wall, I think you go with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. I get the move. I get the saving of the money. I saw somebody in the chat said, hey, the Celtics needed centers, of course, but 2 of them, that just seemed like, that seems redundant to me. I just don't know if you go out and get 2 centers for 1 point guard. That just seems a little like, I don't know what the plan is here. Maybe they're planning on making more moves. Maybe this isn't the last one. So, yes. I just have to watch this one and see, because right now, today, doesn't make any sense to you, girl. But let's move on into the post-up, because we are about to have a really, really good time with this first one, because this clip that I'm about to show you is 19 seconds. Okay, I need to let y'all soak that in. You only get 10 seconds to shoot the ball, but the clip is 19 seconds, which means the ref who would I possibly be talking about? Oh yeah, Giannis. He takes the longest time. And the refs are doing him a favor by not giving him the ball until he's ready, because you know the 10 seconds doesn't start until you get the ball. I want you to listen what Doris Burke is saying, because Doris is clearly annoyed. But then watch James Harden. He's on the right as well. So check out this clip, and then we'll talk about it. Take a look.
Two-time MVP.
See, I think this takes so long. Like his routine, and interestingly, watching him pregame, he doesn't do it consistently. Sometimes it's 5 dribbles, sometimes it's 6. There's the Brooklyn crowd counting out the second.
I don't think he was the holdup that time.
This is annoying. This is annoying to me. Now, when I was playing ball, my coach used to tell me all the time, you got to do it the same way every single time. So there was a part of me that was making an allowance for Giannis because I thought this was his routine. But when Doris said, oh, he doesn't do it the same way every time, now I'm just annoyed. What the hell are you doing? Why are you taking this long? Why isn't it the same way every single time? Of course, Twitter had something to say about it. This user points out how annoyed James Harden was. Bro, Harden is so fed up with Giannis. Facts, like it's taking too long. And then, of course, the hits keep on coming. The thing is, Giannis literally breaks a 10-second violation every single time he takes a free throw. And then this person says, yeah, his routine is so annoying and irritating, like why so much time? And he takes all this time just to miss because, you know, his free throw percentage isn't that great. I'm annoyed, Kevin, especially to know what Doris said is probably true, that when he's practicing this, he's practicing it different ways every single. Why is it taking this long? You should have the exact same routine every time you go to the line.
This is my problem. A lot of NBA players is like, you know, listen, you are professional athletes. You should be able to hit a foul shot. Again, I mean, right. I know we'll talk about other people later on. But, I mean, Giannis is just, it's his head, man. He needs to shrink. He needs to maybe go sit down on a psychologist's couch and say, help me, you know, get mental and get set to take these foul shots. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, let's have bathroom breaks. Let's go have a cocktail. 20 seconds online, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And again, like I said, they need to start calling that a lot more because that's not what the game is about. You're not supposed to be there having a seance thinking about, oh, I gotta hit this foul shot. Two dribbles, hit the shot, and let's go back to the game.
Right. Doug in the chat, he says, I think he does it the same every time, but it's something he may have to address in the offseason. He doesn't do. Doris Burke literally said she watched him warm up, and he does it differently. Sometimes it's 5 dribbles, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6. Why the hell you need to dribble the ball 6 times? And my problem is the refs are never going to call it because, as we saw in this situation, the ref held on to the ball while he did whatever. Like, what are we doing over here? Some new TikTok trend? What's happening with your body?
Having an out-of-body experience.
Right, like, what are you doing? Just get it done.
Lord, help me with these foul shots, please.
You're about to shout or something. I don't know what's happening, but I think the refs shouldn't do that. I don't think that they should hold on to the ball before they pass it to Giannis. I think they should give it to him right away and make him own his time and then call him for it. But let's go on to this next one, because this next one I know a lot of you guys are not going to like. I actually really, really love it because to me, in my head, it's the cockiness of KD for me, because he's going to show. Let me just show you the clip and then let me tell you what I see in my head. Take a look.
Competitors have a little conversation. Kevin Durant, this is my footwork, my man. You know my work.
So in my head, what happens, and Leo, if you want to play without the sound so I can just kind of tell you what I see happening. I see PJ Tucker going over to KD and say, hey, man, how come I can't guard you? What you be doing to your feet? He's like, okay, well, I do this. He's like, well, I could guard that. He said, no, you can't, because then I'm going to do this. So I'm going to show you, but you still ain't going to be able to guard me. Like, you just can't. I'm going to show you what I do because I know I'm that fly. And even with you knowing what I do, you still can't guard me. So, Kevin, how do you feel about KD showing PJ Tucker his footwork? Are you a fan or no?
It doesn't really matter. He can show him everything he wants. He's still going to get that 2-piece. But these guys go back. I mean, these guys are both Texas Longhorns. You know, when KD went to go visit Texas, PJ Tucker was one of the guys that was on the visit. You know, again, that's what the whole fight. Like, this is like anybody playing the playground and is playing against your best friend. You are trying to take his head off. That's just going to happen. Mm-hmm. He's an A-type personality. So, yeah, they had the little skirmish. These guys are still buddies. They'll be at some nightclub or some beach in August hanging out. But no, I mean, again, it doesn't really matter what KD showed Tucker. He probably saying, listen, I'm going to show you where I'm going. I'm still going to bust your tail. So
Right.
Get used to
I
it.
could point to that point in the floor like, I'm going to be right there, PJ. I'm still going to shoot the shot over your head. Do you have a problem with the fact that we still haven't seen Giannis really take on KD?
I do. I have a big fact as a fan and as somebody who respects the game and what the game's supposed to be about. Giannis is a former Defensive Player of the Year. He's 7 foot, wingspan, probably one of the only few people in the league that can match up with KD, athlete to athlete. Again, like I said, Game 7s tonight. Maybe, all hands on deck. They're going to have to look at that because if KD comes off and PJ Tucker is not the answer, it's really not. Then they're going to have no choice. But yeah, I'm very frustrated because again, like I said, as a basketball fan and as somebody who, again, I'm not saying I'm Coach Bud, but my gosh, man, play the man. If Giannis is waiting for his coach to give him the signal, Bud, give him the signal, please. Give him the signal before you get fired on Sunday.
Right. So Game 7 is actually tomorrow. I think you're all excited about the Clippers and Utah because you're hoping you win that bet. I think that's what's happened. I think that's what you got on your mind tonight.
That bet is sliced and glazed already.
Oh, it's not. No, it is not. Stop it right now. I'm not. No, I do not. But nonetheless, I do think I agree with you. I don't think Giannis is the type of player that will do anything on his own. He is the kind of guy that's going to make you prove your worth as a coach. And Coach Bud, you need to step up. Now, this has happened. This is the second time. It might be the third, but it's definitely the second time that I remember these posters of Ben Simmons floating around the world. And this is the first one. Okay, so look, 76ers posted these missing poster signs. Now, the insult on it says missing, the can't shoot free throws, and last seen Game 3, Round 2, armed but not dangerous. This remember this from 2 years ago? It says missing. Have you seen his jumper? And then now they're trying to trade his whole contract. And they said he was last seen drinking in Orlando. I think that Philly fans have had enough of Ben Simmons. We talked about this yesterday, Kevin, like who should go. Originally I said that Joel Embiid should go because I thought they would get more trade value for Joel Embiid. But now yesterday I switched that. Do you think it's time for them to move on from Ben Simmons?
It's so hard to say goodbye. Listen, the thing about Ben is that, and I was having this discussion with somebody the other day, like, oh, well, he's a great defender and he penetrates. You cannot have a situation where your point guard is afraid, and I repeat, afraid to touch the basketball. Now, again, he doesn't have to hit all the shots, but if Ben Simmons can at least take a few jump shots to keep the defense honest, it would help. At this point, as a pro player, he's getting hacked. He's getting fouled in the second quarter. Like, if that doesn't affect your pride as an athlete, I don't know what is. So he should never even went home the other night. He should have stayed in the gym, got his Kobe mentality, mama mentality together, and shot shots all night. But again, we'll see how it comes out. Again, the beauty about NBA playoffs, what happened last game is over. So let's see what happens tonight. Again, he wasn't the only one that kind of wet the bed with Philly, but he's a big culprit.
But he's the guy that the biggest problem I have with him is he consistently shows these practice reels on his social media where he's actually taking outside shots and he's actually hitting them. So where does it go missing between the practice and you never do it in a game? Like never? How does that happen? Maybe he's the one.
There ain't no pressure in practice. It's easy to go shoot in the hoop. That's why all those guys like TJ Warren, those guys were knocking it out in the bubble last year. Ain't no fans. Tyler Hero, swishing. Ain't no fans. But when that pressure comes, the game is on, and legacies and career and money is on the line. It's a whole different situation. So he needs to realize that, hey, listen, I'm a star. I can be a great athlete, and he needs to come up big tonight.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that I don't see in him. Usually when guys get drugged in social media like this, like if we was dragging Dame like this or Jimmy Butler like this, we can expect a 50-point game the next time because that's just they feed off of that. Ben is not that guy. He is not that guy. Poor Benny. Aw, Ben, the two of us can look. Right. All right, let's go to this next one because while we are throwing all the shade at Philly, Kevin and I kind of talked about this before the show. It doesn't matter what they do in the ATL. I do not talk about them winning. We'll clown the Knicks for putting the flyers about Trae Young on the chairs. We'll clown Trae Young about his hair. We will give Trae Young some accolades, but none of us, I've never heard any of us really praise the Hawks for anything that they're doing. And Trae Young made a really good point about that, because maybe we should kind of step up and realize, hey, these guys are out here doing some good basketball without having a lot. So look at this tweet, because this is a valid point. Trae just said the Hawks have no all-stars, no defense players, no all-NBA players, but they do have a big chip on their shoulders. And if that's all it takes to get you over this hump is a chip, this chip should be sold league-wide, because it's a lot. One Twitter user seems to think that they should have. He says Trae should have been an all-star. Clint should have been an all-star defensive team, and Lou Williams should have. And at the very bottom, there's some guy said, "Are you seriously saying Lou Williams?" So let's talk about this. Should Trae? I agree that Trae should have been an all-star. The rest, I don't know. Clint, I can give him that, but Lou, what do you think about that fans' assessment?
Oh, well, no, I mean, listen, Lou's a great player. I'm not going to put any shade on his name, but no, he's not in that echelon right now, but he's a solid veteran, can still get you buckets. Again, what Atlanta is showing you, that when the team comes together, anything can happen. I mean, salute to Nate McMillan. I think it's a travesty that man still has the interim tag next to the head coach's name. Trae Young is blossoming in his playoffs. Young Collins is blossom. Even my old boy Gallinari, he's come out and had some great moments. And then Lou has done his thing. So look, it just goes to show that you don't, in this arms race that we call the NBA, where everybody's trying to, bring, the super friends together. Sometimes just chemistry and cohesion can win you ball games. And this is coming from a Knicks fan. The guy broke my heart a couple of weeks ago. But they are on the brink of being in the Eastern Conference Finals. And with all the injuries, don't be surprised if Magic City has got Stephen A. Smith there for the finals, because it is a possibility. And I know that we wouldn't have said that a couple weeks ago, but this is 2020, 2021. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, and we have not talked about the Hawks at all. If we're being fair, we've talked about the Suns, we've talked about the Nets, we've talked about the Clippers consistently, and then we'll throw the Bucks in there for some sprinkles on the top. But those are the teams that we're talking about. The Hawks are actually out here winning. Even in other circles, other shows that I've been on, we have not mentioned the Hawks one time. Except for the time that y'all put that flyer on the chairs. That's the only time that we talked about the Hawks. And it was your fault. It was your fault. But I agree.
We break stars here in New York all the time.
Right. Somebody in chat went, Doug said that the Hawks are fairly deep, though, and they have good role players. And I think that's the key. That is one of those things that I feel like is far too often overlooked in this league. You got to have dope role players who are out there doing what they're supposed to do. And I think the Suns have that. It's going to be weird to me, though, if they end up in the finals. I'm just going to say that now. I don't have no dog in that race. So we shall see, though. But let's move on to this next one, because I love this next one. I think it just, once again, is a hash mark into the Joker is a really cool dude. Maybe now we know what he was thinking about when he was riding around for God knows how long with that horse on that rickshaw. But he is a really good dude. So if you missed it, I think it was game 3. Yeah, it was game 3. DeAndre Ayton sat down, and this is right after Joker had won the MVP. And then he was reading Joker's stats, and he was just in awe of the Joker's stats. So take a look.
20 rebounds. That's 10 offensive rebounds, 10. That's insane. Yeah, that's insane. And 10 assists. I did not know that. That's amazing. Yep, MVP.
Like, he's got 20 rebounds. He was just so in awe of that moment. I like that moment because you can kind of see that he really has some respect for Joker, and I love that. And Joker returned the favor, and he sent him a signed jersey. I know you guys probably can't see that, but all in the 15, it says, my brother DA, you are beast. I just had to say it with his accent, because he didn't say you're a beast or you're the beast. He said, you are beast. Keep up the good work. I love this. This is just another hash mark in Joker's favor. I like that you do this after, though. This whole jersey swap thing right after a game, I don't like it. I do like this after the fact. I'm out of it. I'm thinking about you. I know you have respect for me. This is when I do that. I don't, Kevin, are you with me on that? The whole jersey swap right after a game, especially when we in battle, I don't like that. I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Plus, I'm a germaphobe, so I don't want nobody sweat touching somebody's sweat after the game. But this just shows Joke as a class act. Again, like you get two gladiators that compete against each other, you can have mutual respect. I like the fact that you can have that respect after the war is over. You respect each other, and like I said, Joke is a class act. I'm sure that he sees a lot of DAs coming around. I mean, obviously, he was the #1 draft pick a couple years ago, and kind of was an afterthought as Phoenix went through their trials and tribulations. But now that team has started to rise, he started to play better. And I think, again, players can respect players. You don't respect them on the floor. I don't want to hear my superstar like Giannis talking about the guy after he just ripped me apart. But,
Right.
after the battle is won, I can accept it, and it's appreciated.
Yeah, that after the fact is great, but yeah, not some Quiz Matrix says unfortunately stats don't always translate to win, and that's a fact. We've seen that time and time again. Russell Westbrook is a good example of that. Bradley Beal is as well. And it's just unfortunate that they didn't have Jamal Murray, because if they had Jamal Murray with the way that Joker is playing, I think we're talking about a totally different thing. But let's move on to this next one, because this next one, some of these fans, who raised y'all it's just the phrase that I feel a lot of times when I'm on Twitter. So we know that Naomi Osaka decided to take a break because she said she was having mental health issues and she didn't want to interview with the press, right? There was this whole backlash about that, which is funny to me because most of the people who are backlashing about that are probably the same people that wanted her to be quiet when she was talking about Black Lives Matter. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But we do have this tweet I want to show you right now. So SportsCenter posted this and says, breaking, Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from Wimbledon, her reps said in a statement. She's taking some personal time with friends and family. She will be ready for the Olympics and is excited to play in front of her home fans, the statement said. Now, apparently, there was a meeting. She had a meeting with the powers that be as far as Wimbledon goes. And then apparently that didn't go well. At least that's what this guy thinks. So this next user posted this and says, seems odd he would bother to meet with Wimbledon officials if her intention was to not play. Not something other players do. Seems like the meeting did not go well. So I didn't really think of that, but that's a valid point. This next guy is an idiot because by his own admission, he doesn't even watch tennis. So he says, I'm not really a tennis fan, but whatever it is Naomi is doing, it's really bad for tennis. She should just resign if she doesn't want to play. Wimbledon shall forever continue, and there's plenty up-and-coming champs out there. This guy is an idiot. But I just had to show you that this narrative floated around there like, oh, she should just stop playing or whatever. This next one, though, I'm all for a good conspiracy theory. And I'm not mad at this conspiracy theory because I thought, okay, I could see that. He says, conspiracy theory, a tiny part of Naomi Osaka's problem is because she knows that if she's matched up against Serena Williams, she will beat her. So for Serena to win that elusive 24th Grand Slam, Naomi cannot be in the tournament and be a roadblock to history. So in his head, he's saying she's removing herself so Serena can fulfill her destiny and get this 24th win. I love a good conspiracy theory. I'm not going to say my opinion on it. I'm just going to ask you, Kev, where you at with Naomi and her backing out of this?
Well, you listen, I know people think that this is like Spartacus or these Roman movies. These are human beings. And these are real people, and mental illness is real. I mean, he comes from your parts, Brandon Marshall. We've seen things with him, Ricky Williams. These are human beings. I know they're phenomenal athletes, and we think of our athletes as Greek gods, and they can do no wrong. They can walk on water, But these are human beings, and this young lady needs to take time to get her head right. I salute this woman. It's easy to just go out and play. It's best in the world, or one of the best in the world. It's easy just to go out and just can do what you've been doing normally, muscle memory. It's hard to go against the grain. I salute her. This is strength. This is not a weakness. This is strength she's showing. Going against the grain, getting herself right, and then saying something without saying much is that even at the pinnacle of your profession, if you're not mentally there, take a step back.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with that. And I mean, we haven't had a day off for a while. So that's why I was so proud of Devin for taking some time off, because I think that's one thing that we forget, especially people like myself. Like, I'm a workaholic, and I can feel sometimes I get burnt out. And when you get burnt out, it affects your sleep, which affects your mental. People just think exactly what you said, like, oh, just because she's making all this money and she's good at what she's doing, that she's not human. And that is not the case. I hope she has a fantastic time spending time away with her family and friends, because that's what rejuvenates you. A lot of times when you just have some downtime to laugh, talk, clown people, cut a rug, then you can come back feeling refreshed. If you don't take that time to do that, then you're always burning the candle at both ends, and eventually you won't amount to much. So I agree with you 100%. Aw, poor Billy, he mad. Oh, Billy, you mad in your chat? Oh, is your mommy home? You can go ask her for a hug. Okay, let's move on to this next one. Because this next one, I need to show you this video, okay? Because first, before I show you this video, I need you to remember this comment. He says, "Holy shnikes." Remember this comment. I love the Ninja Warrior competitions. I have to admit, I never watch the little kid ones, because personally, I'm just afraid that one of them is going to fall and bite it real bad and going to get hurt, and that would hurt my feelings. So I never watch the little kid ones. But this one, beast mode. This is one of the best Ninja Warrior competitions I've ever seen. And this kid in the blue is just proving that you always have to stay the course. You never have to count yourself out no matter what happens, because I thought this kid was done. But take a look.
And a good start for Reader Smith. Ooh, look at those leaps. Wow. He says ropes. We don't need ropes. And right through TikTok, no hesitation. But Reader's closing the gap. What a matchup. And look at that, Matt. He just tied it up. Let's go, get on there. Oh, look at that. These two have the pedal to the metal. Logan takes the lead again, but Reader closes the gap on the spin cycle and pulls ahead. Reader flawless there in the spin cycle. Logan spinning like a tornado on the dismount, but it's not enough. Reader gets the buzzer and the win. Reader Smith was doing anything but reading. He was running. Reader rocks.
That kid took them damn spinning monkey bars like he be doing this all the time. Can we just give this kid I mean, I would have stopped. I'd have been like, okay, I'm done. This boy acting like he just was born. But he was like, nah, wait till I get to these monkey bars. I got you at these monkey bars.
Upper body strength shown on the monkey bars. That's how you do it. Listen, it's never over till it's over. Again, we're sports fans, and we see that playing in front of our eyes through these NBA playoffs. And, again, it's just a great perseverance to say, hey, it's never over till it's over. Keep grinding. And that young kid did it. And Tyler would show that to the Clippers tonight before the game.
No, don't show that video to the Clippers. Show people biting it real hard and in the worst possible way and be like, this could be you. Show that video to the Clippers. Do not show this winning kid to the Clippers. I need them to lose. But if that was my kid, I'd be so proud of him, because he was like behind, like way behind. But his trainer, though, with the muscles. Okay, y'all, okay. For kids, it's a lot. But good job, little one. I'm very, very proud of you. You did your damn thing. So proud of you. You guys, I've seen a lot of you talking about this in the chat already. You guys know this is not typically my thing, but let's get into it. Let's get into what we're not going to do, because, yeah, man, this is happening for real, for real. So you guys have probably heard it. You clearly have heard about it, because I see you guys all talking about it in the chat. Let me just let you know this. And Carmelo is for everybody, okay? He's always been for everybody. I like Carmelo because he was the first professional basketball player that I ever met and had a chance to sit down and talk to. So he always is going to hold a special place in my heart. But I'm not married to the man, so that's a totally different thing. I remember way back in the day, it was like maybe a year, maybe 2 years after he got married to LALA, he was on this radio show. I feel like it was The Breakfast Club, but don't quote me on that. I didn't look it up. But he was on this radio show, and they were asking him the question. I remember the question exactly. It was like, so how is married life? How are you adapting to married life? And he said, LALA's married. And then the radio guy asked, I feel it was Charlamagne, asked him again. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, LALA is married. He made it very clear that LALA's married, but he's about to just be out here living the single life. I thought that was so deplorable. Well, fast forward to a couple years later, now we know Carmelo Anthony cheated on her. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. He basically told us that he would. And I know she heard that radio interview or whatever, but she just kept on. I hate to say this, but sometimes, you know, you just bring stuff on yourself. Number one, when he said that, you knew he wasn't in it to win it. He wasn't committed to it. Number two, when he cheated on you, you took him back. So to the ladies in the chat, and I know some brothers are going to get mad at me when I say this, but I'm going to stand by what I say. Once a cheater, always a cheater. For two reasons. Number one, because you're going to have a hard time ever getting over that. Like ever. So in your head, whether he's actually cheating or not, he's going to be cheating. Number two, if you take him back, he's more likely to think that he can get away with it because he didn't suffer any real consequences for it. So you're going to let him cheat again. I'm just telling you all that so you can move forward in your life as you see fit. Now, we haven't seen for at least, it's well over a year, haven't seen one picture of Carmelo outside of Father's Day on LALA's social media. Haven't seen one time. Now, she had said that, okay, they're building back up. But now, y'all know, because some of y'all been talking about it, she's filed for a divorce. I think she talked about filing for a divorce the first time, but now she's officially filed for divorce. The reason being, apparently, is because Lee Daniels, y'all know that guy, he's the writer, director of a lot of stuff. He has a niece, I believe her name is Millie, and apparently she just had twins, and they're Carmelo Anthony's baby. So there's a woman, it's not Millie herself that's releasing this information. It's a good friend of hers that's releasing this information. And she's doing it because apparently these twins have some sort of medical issue that Carmelo Anthony is just kind of like nonchalant about it. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, whatever, it is what it is. So Jeremiah in the chat says LALA cheated too. So this is the next point I was going to get to. The woman who he allegedly, well, I don't want to say allegedly, because when there's babies around, pretty much facts after that. But the woman he cheated with said she didn't feel bad. She knew that Carmelo was married, but she didn't care because LALA was sleeping with someone else. I mean, when you out here talking about I'm married and you not, and you cheating and you making babies, I hope I got at least somebody to have fun with. I'm not saying tit for tat. I'm saying at some point you can see the writing on the wall and you know that it's over. But the crazy thing is the woman who is trying to support her friend who's has these twins has receipts. I'm going to show you these receipts, but before I show you these receipts, I want you to understand that I understand that these can be doctored. I'm not saying they're facts. I'm saying they sound right, though. Carmelo doesn't say anything horribly damning. He just doesn't seem like he seems very nonchalant about it. And so I guess the baby's name is Cash because she says, how do you ignore his health? He says, man, you will have the money when I wake up. Just tell me what the hell is wrong with Cash. And she says, look how you come at me. This is why I need you to be on child support. To be talked to like this over money is unreal. You know, Cash was going downhill. I told you his body rejected the stent. That's crazy. And then he responds to her saying she should be on child support. And he says, is that what you would like? All right. So then we go to the next part. And then she says, Cash is going to have another surgery tonight. And if I tell you one of your kids got sick in the hospital, you should be a parent and pick up the phone and find out what's going on. And I'm sure you don't give a you know what, so bye. He goes, oh, he's up. Eyes are bananas. What's wrong with him? That's all he keeps asking is what's wrong with him. But I'm going to give Carmelo a little bit of credit. Not a lot, because I don't like cheaters. But I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. In his messages, you can clearly see that he's like, what's wrong with Cash? What's wrong with Cash? She wants more of an emotional response from him, which I understand. She's the baby's mother. She wants the same sense of urgency that she feels. You knew who he was when you laid down with him, ma'am. So I don't know why you expect him to all of a sudden be this person that I know from day one he let you know he was not. Because not only has he's been consistent the entire time he has been in the NBA. He has let us know that LALA's married. He's not. He's kind of always shrugged off any kind of cheating allegations. And now you expect him to be some sort of loving Captain Save It. You know what? Girl, bye. This is what we're not going to do. We are not going to expect men to suddenly be different from who you know they to be. And even if you knew that LALA was sleeping with somebody else, you knew that man was married. And so why would he treat you any differently than he treated his wife? Girl, if you don't go play on the highway with this nonsense, I cannot stand you women thinking that a man that treats his wife foul is going to treat you differently. That is not how that goes. Let me tell y'all this. Lala should have got out of this relationship sooner because she has a young son. And that little boy, how his dad treats his mom is how he thinks it's going to be okay to treat a woman in the future. When you put children in a situation, you should sever ties immediately because now you're planting seeds into that kid's future. And these are the wrong seeds to be planted. But side chick, don't act like you the main chick all of a sudden. Don't expect that kind of energy because that's not who you are. Know your role. That's all I got for what we're not going to do.
It's Fan or Foe.
All right, this is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how Fan or Foe goes with me and Kev today. We got a lot. Apparently, there's a lot of these. I hope some of y'all ain't like too mad because I saw I already made somebody mad in the chat. But you know I live for that. So let's just roll the Fan or Foe. Let's get into it. Okay, so LeBron has been demoted to mayor of LA now since PG took his spot at Prince. Jeremiah, you know damn well that's not facts. Kevin.
Listen, the Clippers are having a nice run, but they ain't nobody taking LeBron's spot in LA. The Lakers still run that city, and that's just reality. That's not even, But it's cute. It's cute. Listen, I'm rooting for the Clippers, so I mean, I hope the Prince has his night tonight as well. But I'm just saying.
All right, let's now see. I got my braids inspired by Paul George. Now you guys got me rooting against him. Stop it right now. Okay. Oh God, here we go. Who is this? Jake and Dirk Williams. Okay. Damn, Jackie, you were too tough on Chris Paul. What did he do to you? The same with Kawhi Leonard showing an old. First of all, I love Chris Paul, so you must be new. I think so because I've not seen your name before. Same with Kawhi Leonard showing an old video. You wake up angry and bitter this morning. Okay. Let's revisit what Devin. Let me represent what Devin is saying. I'm finding it hard to read this because there's no punctuation. So let me help you out. Damn, Jackie, period. You were too tough on Chris Paul. Exclamation point. What did he do to you? The same with Kawhi Leonard. Question mark. Showing an old video. What the hell you showing an old video? I'm assuming you woke up angry and bitter this morning. Period. Jackie, comma, women like you who are so angry and bitter don't have a man, and I can see why. And I can see why you got your mom in your picture because you're probably still at home. So good luck, sir.
Listen, I blame the educational system. Like, what is going on with people? A period. Come on. Dang. Woo.
I can't even.
Man.
Good try, though. I appreciate you. Good try. Let's move on to this next one. Okay, so trade Ben. He don't want to shoot or score. Are you sticking with that? It's time to trade him.
He don't want to be saved. I don't know, man. Maybe he wants to go hang out in Calabasas with the Kardashians. Listen, Ben Simmons. He needs, like I told you earlier, he needs a good shrink, good psychiatrist.
Yeah, I mean, and we're out of quarantine now. You don't even have to do the virtual therapy. You can go and lay on an actual couch and get one-on-one therapy. Maybe that'll help you, sir.
Teledoc if he doesn't want to sit in the office. He can do teledoc.
They do. All right, let's go on to this next one. All right, here go another long one. All right. This Hawks team is impressing me with how competitive they are this postseason. Period. Well done, Will. Trae Young and others are amazing players. Happy that they are having a successful season, even if they get eliminated. I agree with that because they deserve this moment in time, even though I'm accidentally. It's not even intentional. I just don't find myself paying them that much attention, but it's not on purpose. My bad. I will do better, Hawks fans. I will do better. Let's move on to this next one. Okay, Jeremiah again. Jeremiah, I know you love when we just read all your little comments. You live for this. So happy Friday to you. Curry would never, period. He would be in the gym getting better, not riding horses after winning MVP and getting bounced out. Should have gave MVP to. Okay. Steph Curry should never even have been in the MVP conversation. Shouldn't even have been in it. Chris Paul should have been in the MVP conversation before Steph Curry. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Jeremiah. Kevin, what do you think?
Big shout to my man Jeremiah. He always hits some good points. I mean, again, I think it comes down to mentality, and I think what we're noticing with a lot of the Euro players, they just say don't have that dog in them. These American guys. Again, we play on hardwood, we play in the playgrounds. It's more intense. It's more trash talk. It's less fundamental. So from that standpoint, I agree with Jeremiah. I think, if you get swept, and the day I come from, that's work needs to be done. But I ain't knocking Joker. He needs a break.
Yeah, I'm not either, because when you get swept, as a person who doesn't lose very well, that hurts. And if I got to ride around in circles on a horse to get my mental back, I'm going to ride around in circles on a horse, because otherwise nobody's safe.
Horse?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that poor horse.
The horse was sideways. He was like, you heavy.
Go back to Denver, please.
We ain't even thinking about the poor horse. You're right. Like, oh, my back. Poor horsey. All right, let's move on to this next one. Oh, that's great. Okay, so Robert Bruce says, personal accolades are, what's going on with my screen? I can't see it. Personal accolades are great, but I'd rather have an NBA title than an MVP or any personal award. Yeah, I think we can agree with that, right, Kev?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, listen, it's all about the hardware at the end of the year. But again, it's just like if you work a great work on Wall Street, you're going to make some money along the way. So, getting the reward, there's compensation and things along the way. So if you're playing great talent, those awards will come. But certainly it's all about winning championships. Yeah,
and sometimes you got to take what you can get. I'm sure Joker would have rather have the title, but at least he can feel good in this moment and say, okay, well, at least I know I did what I was supposed to do, and people see that. So sometimes, especially when you're down, you got to just take what you can get. All right, let's go on to this next one. They had some
injuries, so they'll come back strong next year.
Yeah, they did. I hope so. Okay, this is an interesting one. CP3 is cursed by the basketball gods. I have to kind of low-key agree with this. Because what the hell? I'm still mad at him for being the stickler for the rules that he is and getting COVID.
It's the most hard luck athlete I ever seen in the last 30 years. I just like a couple years ago when Houston was about ready to eliminate Golden State, he pulls their hamstring, and I don't know, man. Chris maybe ain't living right, man. Them State Farm commercials is probably just a facade. I don't know.
My grandmother used to say when I used to do stuff and I'd be like, damn, I can't believe, like when the weird stuff would happen to me, my grandmother used to say, you kicked a little person in your past life. That's what's wrong with you. You kicked a little person.
Him and Mel are boys, so you never know.
Ooh, maybe he's not as clean cut as I see what you did there. Birds of a feather do flock together. And I'm saying that knowing that, yes, LeBron James hangs out in that circle as well. But let's move on. I don't want to get into that. Let's move on. All right. Stephen R. says, Steve Nash gets no credit. He has probably 4 Hall of Fame players on his team. Absolutely. And I have to say, I kind of feel like that's kind of what we saw, with the exception of James Harden, because I definitely feel like he was just kind of getting his feet under him. I said that we were going to see Steve Nash get exposed, because now without the greats, he's got to actually coach. And I don't think he did that well. What do you think?
I disagree with that. I think Steve Nash has actually done a pretty good job. Nobody knocks Steve Kerr. Nobody knocks Pat Riley. Again, like I said, this is the way it is. It's just, again, you're not on the floor. You need great talent. Still takes a great mind to put great talent together, because you're dealing with personalities that are very fragile. We know that about the Nets because KD's always on Twitter. So he brings us into his world. So, I listen. What does he deserve the job? No. Is he doing a good job? Yes, I think he is. I'm surprised. I respect Steve Nash and what he's done so far.
I'm with this user though. I'm not giving him any credit, because if you put a bunch of great players together, all you have to do is, like you said, manage personalities instead of coach. And I think when you put him in a position where he actually has to coach, I think he's struggling. But we'll see. We'll see how this works.
Personalities is easier said than done.
True. All right, let's go on to this next one. I don't know how many we have left, but let's look at this one. JD says, Giannis is so stupid. You can't praise a player that is whooping your ass. He's weak for that. Even though KD is the best player in the world, I'm going to add right now, you are Defensive Player of the Year and 2-time MVP. Go check him. I'm giving JD my nomination for Fan of the Week, because he said that with his chest.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I ain't praising the man putting a foot in my tail. No, I'm sorry. And again, like I said, Giannis, listen, nice guys, but There's some boundaries to this thing. There's some boundaries. So yeah, I salute this quote. He's my fan of the week without question.
AD gets our first nomination for fan of the week. All right, we got a few more of these to go, so let's get into this next one. But I wish they would start firing refs for bad calls. Ooh, Ty. Facts.
Yeah, he ain't wrong.
Yeah. Okay. You right. Next one. Can't throw the league MVP out the game in an elimination situation. Bad. Can they buy refs? They decide the game. Yeah, Doug, I agree. First of all, it wasn't a flagrant 2 at all. So
right.
I think that goes to the first point. So you are correct. Let's get to this next one. The ref in the NBA needs some technical fouls. This is a man's game. After teams invested all this money and refs continue to make all these horrible decisions. So Peter Andrews, another name that I haven't seen in the chat before, but right there with the rest of us, we think the same thing. Like, these refs can't be deciding games like this. It's ridiculous. Let's go on to this next one. My favorite snow bunny is Devin, and my favorite Butterfinger is Jackie. Okay, am I
That's the fan of the week right there. Like I said, snow bunny. Wow, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not really going there, but that is it. Hey, you guys are the new Charlie's Angels, so y'all doing your thing.
No, I would have preferred the Snickers. But okay, Butterfinger it is. I don't like Butterfingers. That's what it is. I don't like them. They don't taste.
Depends where this is from. Snickers is a kind of Snickers depends on where you're from with using the Snickers. But give him credit. He gets a good chocolate.
Okay, all right. So now we got Fierce Soul 85 also in contention to be fan of the week. So let's go into this next one. Yay, Jackie looking like Reese's Cup. This same guy. Reese's Cup is better. Butterfingers don't taste good to me. Right? Hey, a friend of mine told me, same thing MJ said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, hey, shoot your shot. Let's go to this next one. Okay, JD again. Big Baby Davis is a punk for saying it was karma for stepping on Lucky. Big Baby Davis did nothing for my Celtics, but eat hamburgers and produce 5 points a game. JD, this is 2 for you, right? Didn't I try to nominate you for the first? You right on this one, too.
Rolling sevens. He's rolling sevens.
Okay, let's go to this next one. Myers Leonard is a waste of bone and muscle. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. I don't like the man, but I'm not going to go that far.
Out to your opinion.
Next one. Right. Kevin G says, why Lamar Odom sacking his shorts? Oh, sagging?
Sagging.
Okay. I was like, what is sacking? How do you sack your shorts? Okay, so why Lamar Odom sagging his shorts while boxing? I don't know. I didn't even watch that part of it. The whole thing was tomfoolery to me. All right, is that it?
Stand up like they pants in Queens.
Yes. All right, that was the last one. I think I got to give it to JD. I like the Butterfingers and the Reese's, but JD came out the park, doubled up with the facts. So JD, you are going to be our fan of the week. Yay, JD. All right, you guys, we made
JD.
A cyber hug. All right, you guys, we made it through the week. Enjoy your weekend. It is Juneteenth. If you don't know what Juneteenth is, take a moment, do some research. Go to my YouTube page. I had the opportunity to interview some people who actually went to Galveston and dug up all this history. So go to my YouTube page. I have that over there. You can learn all about the history of Juneteenth. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Kev, again, thanks for joining us. Did you have fun?
This has been great, Jackie. Always a pleasure to rock with you on the Fumble. And thank you to the Fumble team and everyone. It's been a great pleasure.
Yes, our pleasure as well. You guys enjoy your day. Be safe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video. We will see you Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll see you next week. Be safe.